Hello and welcome to Heart Space, formerly TJ in Your Mind, a poetry podcast with myself, TJ, and featuring every month a guest poet based right here in Berlin. We talk about poetry, love, life, and everything in between. So sit back, relax, and have a listen. Sara Sevda is a German-Turkish human being who dives into the world of poets and has done so since she was 9 years old. She likes to write her poems in German, Turkish, English, and French, and has created a genre called Burlesque Poetry. Her next project, to publish the poems written from her early years, her early teenage years, up until today. She is also an integral part of the wonderful heart space community we have created here in Berlin. Ladies and gentlemen, Sara.
Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale again. You'll be fine. Being anxious is not a crime. Cry your heart out, soldier. Share your tears with the earth warrior. We all go through this. Remember this. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale again. The earthquake in your heart will go away soon. Just stare at the lonely moon. Greet the twinkling stars who shine bright. Seeing them is a privilege, what a delight. Now you're smiling, tears get drying. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale again.
So, hello, Sara. It is such a pleasure to have you with us here on Heart Space.
Hello TJ, thank you for the invitation. I'm so excited to be here. It's an honor to be here too.
Oh, thank you. So, tell me, inhale, exhale. What were you thinking? What was on your mind?
Well, why I wrote this poem, Inhale, Exhale. It's just a kind reminder of me, to get slow down in any kind of circumstances which can challenge my life. And it is also inspired thanks to my interest of yoga and interest of meditation.
So the breathing exercises to make you cogitate, to sit, breathe, relax, and think.
Exactly.
Indeed. Oh, very nice. I think for me, what really jumped out to me was a case of when you stop and when you think, you remember who you are. And that was what jumped out to me when I first heard you read the poem. Remember, I guess I wanted to bring you on the podcast, but I just couldn't find which poem to use. And then I heard that, and I said, "That's the one. That's the one." And I remember thinking, because my poem, the one that I'll record afterwards, "Who Are You?" It's along the same. So it's a case of yours is, stop, breathe, relax, remember. And this is did you forget who you are?
Definitely, indeed. Because, everything we can get influenced easily in our life, like, because of our job, because of our private circumstances, or outside when we go out, for example. And we try to work out, also we try to walk in or to match in and to get in, and sometimes we forget that we have to say, hey, stop, I need to have time on my own, and I need to, get slowed down and think who I am, what I really want, and so on. Yeah.
I think it links back to when I had Helle on the podcast, we looked at identity. And I think it links back to that as well. Sort of, my identity isn't this circumstance. And I think sometimes we forget when we are in the middle of circumstances, we sometimes forget who we are. And I like that your poem says, no, stop, breathe. Circumstances won't last forever.
That's true, and that's what it came also in my mind, like as a similar thing. And also, for example, when we get stressed out of obvious reasons, and then we say, hey, come on, let's think about it in a positive way as possible, and also in a quiet way as possible. So, because with stress or with rage and anger, we can't think straight, and we can't also express ourselves with our true face.
Yeah, exactly. I was, my flatmate and I were talking a while back, and we were talking about how it's not wise to speak in the middle of anger. I think they say you don't make decisions or don't speak while you're in the middle of any heightened emotion. So if it's anger, even happiness, not at those heights. But when you're able to pull back and think and consider the things that you are saying, then you speak, as opposed to a heightened emotions. That's never wise. Which is why I like that poem and your thinking on that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Not to worry. And one thing I haven't mentioned, Sarah is also a part of the Heart Space community that we are building, and Sarah has been a wonderful addition. She reads poetry in how many languages now? Remind us.
Oh, let me count. In next to English and German, I also write my poems in Turkish, sometimes French. So we have 4. And yeah, exactly. I used to also write in Japanese, and
as you do.
I used to, because during that time my Japanese was really highly strong. Nowadays I forgot certain things, but yeah, I used to write in Japanese. Yeah.
See, I love how you just dropped in this. Oh, I used to write poetry in Japanese when I know next to nothing in Japanese, So how did it come about that you spoke Japanese so well and could write poetry?
Well, at school I had a Japanese lesson from 11th grade to 13th grade. And through that I got highly motivated to learn haikus, but also learn to write a modern Japanese poem with my view. And during that time I was also highly motivated and productive to write poems when I was young.
I'm curious, when you say the modern Japanese poem, I mean, we most of us know about haikus, but what is the modern Japanese poem?
Well, I can't tell you exactly, but what it comes in my mind about modern Japanese literature, I would love to say it's like Yukio Mishima. I hope I pronounce his name right. And Haruki Murakami and Ryo Murakami. They are one of the famous writers in Japanese literature world.
Okay. None of the names, I don't know any of, but yeah.
Do you know Kafka on the Shore?
Kafka, I know the name Kafka, but I don't know Kafka on the Shore.
Or Norwegian Wood?
Yes. The Beatles.
Yeah, and it is inspired, also Haruki Murakami was inspired through the song Norwegian Wood, and he wrote a book about it.
Okay. Oh, this I didn't know.
One of the bestsellers.
Oh, okay.
TJ!
That's but there is a heck of a lot in this world that I do not know, and it is grand to learn some of the things that I do not know from the people that come in here. It's wonderful. I love it.
No worries, I can also I try to make a quote from Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
He once said, "What we know has the size of a water drop. What we don't know has the size of an ocean."
Exactly. And it leads me back to, I forget who it was that said it. Said that the more we know, the more we realize we know nothing.
I think it's from Aristotle or Platon.
Yeah,
One of these guys.
Yes. And it's fascinating because the more we learn, the more we build, the more we accrue, to realize, oh wow, there is so much more to learn, so much more, and there aren't enough years in a single life to accumulate everything that there is to learn, and it's amazing. But then I think it's also amazing that we as human beings have the ability to accumulate these things, whatever it is that we wish to accumulate knowledge-wise. We have the ability to grasp it and attain it and bring it into ourselves, which brings all the way back to our lesson of who are you?
I agree with you, TJ. That's really right, because it's also like, how can I say? For example, me, I appreciate every new lessons and knowledge which I've gained, like every day, and it also, make us also kind of complete,
The more we learn, the more we build ourselves, the more complete we become, let's say. Interesting. I do like that a lot. So, Sara, what's in store for you poetry-wise? What do you see on the horizon for you when it comes to your poetry? I know it's a bizarre question to ask. It came to my mind when you said you write in all of these many different languages. I think this is a woman on a mission. That's what it seemed like to me. So I'm curious. What's next?
Well, my dream is, or my wish is, for example, to publish my poems. I don't know, maybe in the next future, but I know exactly what I want to, because now I have the courage to show everyone about my poems, or to to explain about what I'm thinking about my poems and why I wrote this and so on. And I also have started to make, sorry for the promotion, I also have started to create a TikTok account where I also introduce myself as a poetess. And yeah, you can find me as Sara Sevda, the trashy poet.
The trashy poet?
Yeah.
Nice.
I can show you some of my contests, and you can see why I call myself trashy poet.
So, Sara, to finish us off, give us a little snippet about the warrior in your poem. Just something, a lesson for the wider audience about this warrior that you're trying to encourage.
I would say everybody can be a warrior. You don't need to, for example, you don't need to have a weapon to be one, or you don't need to fight against someone or something to be one. It is also like, if you go through a challenge in your life and that you say, okay, I will take this challenge and I try the best to, for example, to solve any problem if there's in it, or to say, okay, I will stand in front of my challenge and look forward how it will come. This also makes you a warrior.
Okay. Sara, thank you ever so much. It's been a pleasure having you on this podcast.
You're welcome, TJ, and I thank you too again, and also it is my pleasure and honor to be here.
Awesome.
you in this vast world of madness? Who are you in this massive swirl of entropy? Did you forget? Did you forget that you are queen? Did you forget that you are king? Did you allow life to beat you down, to break you down? Did you allow this world to redefine you? Did you forget? Did time cause the mirror to lie? Did life cause your dream to die? Did your candle burn out? Did it splutter and die? Did you breathe pain and claim destiny light? Did you forget? Despite it all, you have already flown so high. Why would you ignore the miles you've run in favor of words from those who have never sacrificed and won? Why would you speak to failure and call it your own when you were born with glory to own? You who were breathed from the ether, fashioned from your scars, sprinkled with moon dust and placed among the stars. You beautiful soul, unfathomable soul, unique soul, you who are wonderful. Now tell me, dear Prince of Wonder, Princess of Honor, King of Awesome, Queen of Grandeur, who are you? Thank you for joining us on Heart Space. It is always a pleasure to have you with us. We will return in a month with another special guest. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this poem, it, as well as a number of others, is available in my latest poetry compilation book, Perfectly Imperfect, available as a Kindle download or in print via Amazon and all major online retailers. And of course, we can be found on Instagram at heartspace_villain. We meet fairly regularly in person right here, so feel free to come join us. We'd love to welcome you. Once again, thank you for listening.